What exactly are you here to do? Why have you been placed on this earth? And I understand these are two very hard hitting, deep questions right off the bat, but I want you to start thinking about these because I truly believe those two questions are two of the most important questions you will ever ask yourself. And you don't have to have the answers. I think the entire purpose of life is finding those answers. And then once you find them, acting towards that and pursuing whatever your purpose or mission is. But I don't even think too many people, I would say the majority of people don't even ask themselves those questions ever. They don't ever think about what their actual life's purpose is. Most people they don't ask themselves these questions, so they never find the answers. And because they don't find the answers, they never act in accordance to who they want to be. Everyone has dreams of achieving great things. They have dreams of being a famous athlete or celebrity or whatever, or just very successful. But most people don't want to pay the price. They want to be disciplined, but they don't want to actually be disciplined. Like they want to be, successful, but they don't want to do the things that are required to be successful. Being disciplined sounds great until you actually have to do the things that make you disciplined. Being successful sounds great until you actually have to do the things that make someone successful. And I think this is just something that people they understand, but it keeps them right where they are right now, and nothing changes because they're not willing to change. And so if you are not where you want to be in life, or you are not who you want to be, it is because your current identity does not align with that. If you are not the person you want to be, it's because your current identity is not the identity of the person you want to be. But I truly believe that the best thing you could do for yourself is figure out who that is, who you want to be. You don't have to know the answer to the questions I asked earlier, like why are you here on this earth? What are you actually here to do? Those are just things that I want you to think about, because the longer it's in your mind, the longer your subconscious has to chew on those questions, I think the more likely it is that you're going to find these answers. The best thing like I was saying, you can do for yourself is to figure out who that is, who that person is that you want to become. And then making a mission to every single day you live, like from just going forward, you act as if you are that person. You figure out who that person is, what habits do they have, what do they do on a daily basis, how do they talk, how do they treat people, etc., etc. You nail it down to a very specific type of person, and you do everything in your power to act as if you are that person. And what's going to happen, the longer you do this, you're going to start noticing a full-on change in how you operate in the world. Because obviously you're changing lots of things about yourself. I don't even know if you're changing things about yourself. You're really just changing how you operate and how you maneuver in the world. And I think in some way, shape, or form, everybody knows who they want to be, who they want to become. And if you don't, I think one thing you can do, and one thing that has helped me tremendously, is thinking back to your early childhood obsessions, or even like people that you looked up to as a young person or a very young person. Maybe people you looked up to right now. This is funny. I used to love the Power Rangers. I wanted to be the red Power Ranger. That was my stuff. That was my ideal. I don't know what you call it. That was my hero that I wanted to be. And I think it's funny now, like my favorite color is red. I like to help people. That's what I feel like my mission on this earth is to help other people. And I'm trying to be as strong as I possibly can. I want to be physically capable. I want to be able to defend myself and defend other people. There might not be a time where I ever actually have to do that. Who knows? But that's kind of the archetype that I've stepped into. And I've just known there's so many other people that I've looked up to, just as I kind of grew up. Like people on YouTube that, like David Lade was a big one. I watched his videos all through high school. And I was just so in love with like just his raw authenticity and his like cinematic style videos that he made. And I think that had a huge impact. Like he had a humongous impact on how I kind of navigated my life through high school specifically, because I don't know if I ever would have gotten to like lifting as much as I did if it weren't for him. And so if you can think about those people, the people that you've either looked up to, or even just like fictional characters that you've resonated with in the past, like from a story or a movie or a book, whatever it was, you can find so many little things in there, like in that character's entire character. You can find so many things, reasons why you were drawn to them. Because if you like a specific character in a show, a movie, a book, whatever, It's because you either can see something in them that you see in yourself, or they embody somebody who you want to become. So if there's no figure, there's no like person like in real life or whatever that you really aspire to be like, go look at some of those people. Go look at your favorite characters. Go watch some movies or watch some shows and figure out like who is it? Like what type of person is it that you actually want to be? And then you can start to find, you can almost like reverse engineer how they got to that point. What was their background? Like what did they have to do in order to get to in order to become who they are, right? What did they do in order to become who they are? And you can almost start living your life as if you are that character. It sounds cringy because I know there's so many people that are like, you know, I am Batman, and they they sit up in their room. You can pretend you're Batman, I guess, if you want, but I think it's a start. I'm not going to criticize it. Either way, if you're not where you want to be, it is because you are not the person you need to be. And it sounds harsh, but this is even true for myself. I am not where I need to be at because I'm not the person that I need to be. And that is what I'm working towards every single day right now. I'm literally just living with my parents, and I'm finishing up my last semester of college. But I think what stops so many people from like actualizing their potential is their unwillingness to let go of who they think they are. People love to create this self-image of themselves that, you know, makes them feel good, it makes them feel powerful, but they never actually do anything to prove it. They don't do anything to prove it to themselves. They don't do anything to prove it to anybody else. They could say they are or they could think they're a super successful, strong, disciplined person, but you know, they could just very easily go out through their entire day, not do anything productive, not be disciplined, and at the end of the day, it's just a lie. They're just lying to themselves. They're just lying to the world, and that is what you cannot let happen. If you do really, like, I'm sure whatever person I was referring to in that example, they're halfway there, but what you have to do is you have to actually put out effort, do things in the real world to back up who you think you are. And you have to actually be willing to put your identity on the line. You cannot go throughout your entire life clinging on to this perception of yourself and never actually getting any feedback on that, right? At some point, like, you have to be able to take a risk. You have to you have to throw yourself into the fire and see like actually what you're made of. Because if you have this like false perception of who you are, and you just never ever test it, you never actually see if it's true, you're going to go your entire life thinking you are something that you're not. You could think you're strong, but then if you don't actually prove it, you're not actually strong. It's like you're going your entire life believing that you have something that you have never actually earned. And that's pretty dangerous, because the problem with believing that you have something that you have never actually earned is that you start looking at people and you start believing that everything that you want you can have without putting forth any effort. So like you can easily go look at some entrepreneur on social media and be like, oh, he's just selling a course. I could do that too if I wanted to, but I'm just not because I'm too good for that. Or you look at an athlete like I don't know, maybe Patrick Mahomes after winning the Super Bowl, and you say, oh, well, if I dedicated my entire life to that sport, you know, I could have done the same exact thing. But the problem is you didn't, and you won't, right? You had that belief installed in your head that was never actually backed up by any real world action or any proof. And so it never led you anywhere. So you have to, you know, if you want to be somebody who is strong, you want to be somebody who is disciplined, you have to actually take the actions and actually do even the smallest little things. You know, you might not want to wake up at 7 a.m. on the dot or 6 a.m. on the dot, but you have to think, would that person that you want to be, would that person hit the snooze button? Probably not. I mean, just little things like that. You have to keep these tiny little promises to yourself, and those add up over time. Those compound so much. But at the end of the day, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. I've talked about this a lot, but it is so important. You have to be willing to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. And I think one of the most powerful tools, or I don't know what you call it, I guess a tool, but tactical stress. This is something that I still need. I've been trying to implement this as much as I possibly can, but it is kind of hard right now because at the end of the day, I don't have to pay for rent right now. So I'm not like super, I don't know, I'm not super like stressed out to try and make a bunch of money, which I wish I was almost, because I know that if I was like in a position where I was just like I had to make money or I had to do something, it gives you that like extra boost, that extra motivation that might just take you over the top. It doesn't even always have to be tactical stress. I think that is something that you should just try and use and implement. Just kind of put yourself in stressful situations and like force yourself to adapt. It can be anything. But then also, like, if you feel like your routine is the same every single day, you're not going to ever get any new ideas, first of all, but you can do things to change it. Like, I think one of the most powerful things you can do, again, is changing your environment. But if you cannot change your environment, change little things in your day-to-day routine that just might mix things up a little bit. Like if you wake up, or if you have any freedom at all with your schedule, or even if you don't, just find little things that you can change throughout the day just to like give you something new in your life. And you're going to be surprised, because once you do this, you're going to realize that you're thinking in different ways. Your thought patterns are not exactly the same. Like for the longest time, like in the summer, I would wake up at like 7 a.m. I would basically just do online work or online school until like 11. I would read for like 30 minutes. I would go to the gym, and then I would come back home, like play some chess, and then either do more school, do more work, or I would just chill out. And I did that pretty much every single day for the entire summer. And I think I felt pretty good. I made some good progress in some areas of my life, but it was just very repetitive. And I think that's part of being a man as well, though. Like, it's kind of tough to balance. Like, part of being a man is literally just doing the same things over and over again and doing the boring tasks as much as it takes. But then I think there are times when just throwing a wrench in your schedule, or just throwing a curveball at yourself and just changing things up. If you go to the gym at like 11 a.m., maybe just try going earlier or going later, and just seeing, you're going to see, different people there at the gym. You're going to feel different when you're actually there, and you might surprise, like you're probably going to think, and you're probably going to operate in different ways. And it just, little small things like that can make a huge difference. But just know that if you want to instill any amount of change in your life, you yourself are going to have to change in some way. It's just how it, again, I think I talked about this in a previous video, but your thoughts determine your beliefs determine your actions determine your habits determine your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is everything. And so obviously right now, if you are not living the life, if your lifestyle is not where you want it to be, it's likely because your thoughts and beliefs are not where they should be. And this is true for myself. Again, like I'm not where I want to be. I'm moving towards it, but there's some things that I have to fix in terms of how I think, how I believe, and how I act, because I'm not putting my effort, I'm not putting my energy, and I'm not putting my focus in the right areas right now, which, it's just a game. It's all about iteration and figuring things out as you go. But if you do want that change, you have to be open to changing yourself. You cannot cling too hard onto your identity right now. You have to be willing to switch things up and do things that you might not want to do things that seem uncomfortable, but that is what is going to give you the results that you want. If you want to be disciplined, you have to do the things that a disciplined person would do. If you want to be confident, you have to do the things that a confident person would do, right? Like, if you want to be successful, you have to do the things that a successful person would do. It sounds so simple, but people don't understand this. People want to change their circumstances. They want to change who they are, but they don't want to change their identity. They don't want to change the things they do. They want the outputs, but they don't want to do the inputs. They want the end result, but they don't want to pay the price. I truly believe that every single person on this earth has the ability to create whatever reality they want, but the only people that do are the ones that realize it. And so I just want you to understand that you do have the power to make any change, to do anything that you want, like genuinely. I know you do. You have to understand that, and you have to be willing to do the things that are required to get there and make the changes and take the risks and do all that stuff. And I promise you, you're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. But I just hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday or a couple days ago. And that might not seem like much to a lot of people, but trust me, I'm very grateful for that. And I was actually texting one of my friends about it. We were just talking about how I hit 1,000, and I was like, I only have to do that 99 more times, and then I'm at 100,000. And I kind of said that as a joke, but like it doesn't even sound that crazy, really. Like you're so much closer than you think you are. Like this is what I'm putting all of my, all of my effort and all of my energy into. And it's like I was making fun of myself almost for only being like 1% of the way towards a much larger goal, but like it's not that crazy. It's like those little small improvements, those small milestones add up so fast. I guarantee you, once I do hit that $100,000 or 100,000 subscriber mark, it's going to seem like it happened much faster than it actually did. I just know it. And I promise you, like you are so much closer than you think to where you want to be. Just a few things, a few tweaks in how you live your life will make all the difference. And as soon as you find that gift, as soon as you find your reason for being here, you need to do everything in your power to make that what you do forever. Like that is just the beauty of life, is finding your gift and designing your life around that gift and using it to help people and using it to just better all of humanity. But if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comments below. Subscribe. I'm also going to be doing like 5 or 10 free calls because I just want to get to know you guys. And if you have anything you want to talk about or problems you're dealing with, you can sign up. I have a link to a Calendly page in the description. You can sign up for a call there. Please don't please show up. Like, don't just leave me hanging, please. Or I don't know what I'll do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. But until next time, peace out.